Hi everybody, it's your Simmer here. So we're back here in Tower Companion with Tower Simulator 3. Since I've gotten where I needed to unlock every level of challenge, so basically the 3 ranks that we can do, I'm at a tower controller level, as you can see. I'm just doing the challenges now during the trial period and going to spend my time that I do spend in here doing that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to try this morning fog in Zurich, and you can see we're going to handle the Saturday morning at Zurich Airport during heavy fog conditions. So it looks like, I think, again, it's 31 flights, so my top score can be 3,100. Looks like there's 122 completions, so we don't know. But on the leaderboard, someone tried it earlier this month, but everybody else was earlier than that. We'll see how we do here. So if you've not done the challenges, you start them. Basically, it goes ahead and creates the database. You can see the game's not started, and I haven't loaded it in. All right, so now the game is running. So we go to invalid job parameters in line. Interesting. So we're going to go in here, and morning fog in Zurich, so kind of as you saw. We need the challenge morning fog. We need Nigeris. And we should be good. So there has been, before I jump in, there has been a comment about when you complete a challenge, it does remove it from the list, but we did complete runway maintenance, and it did not remove it. And I'm thinking that's because we didn't get all the way to the end. Oh, it's interesting. This one is only an hour. So we should probably be able to finish it pretty quickly. So we'll hope for that, but let's load up here. So it gets to this point, and now you can see challenge loaded. So I did have the piece that I talked about how you look at things. That first load point, it will either load or not, and if it hasn't loaded your database by then, it's not going to work, and you're going to have to restart. You're going to have to figure things out. Alright, so I'm less familiar with this one, obviously. Let's take a look real quick here. We want to get, again, the close runs in. So we've got one. We're coming in on runway 14. Looks like 3 knots, so we should be okay.
Zurich ground. Swiss 243 heavy with information alpha. Requesting push and start.
Swiss 243 heavy. Pushback approved. Expect runway 16. So I am not going to use runway 14 to exit. So runway 14 is that one. So we'll have arrivals there. I'll do departures here on 16. That way we're still respecting the wind. This is 10:30, or I'm sorry, the 16:34. This is 10:28. So that one is open, but we'll be having to cross and so forth. But we'll go ahead here. Obviously Zurich is in Switzerland, so one would expect that we'd have a good amount of Swiss planes, but you can see we've got a United. We've got a few other things lined up here, so we'll see. But this is the main area of the airport, Edelweiss. Interesting. And then more Swiss. I think that's Air Portugal. And then we did have a couple out there. So again, in the fog, I've kind of let myself move around a little bit. You know, F7's pretty close.
Kilo heavy with information alpha, requesting push and start.
Swiss 17 kilo heavy, standby. So that is a bit of a little trick that will help us avoid penalties. We do have a flight approaching. We do have another flight that's going to call in a bit.
Zurich ground. Swiss 243 heavy ready to taxi.
Swiss 243 heavy, taxi to runway 16. Swiss 243 heavy, runway 16, line up and wait.
Taxi to runway 16, Swiss 243 heavy. Runway 16. Line
So
up
at this
and wait.
point, we do have
Swiss
one
243
coming in
heavy.
as well. That will be obviously calling in at some point soon, I'm sure. We'll just have him clear the gate cleanly before I rush, because there's no real reason to rush. Swiss 17 kilo heavy, pushback approved, expect runway 16.
Pushback approved, expect runway 16. Swiss 17 kilo heavy.
Alright, and then
Zurich Tower. Swiss 155 heavy on final 14.
Swiss 155 heavy, runway 14, cleared to land. Alright, so
Runway 14, cleared to land.
everybody's
Swiss
good.
155 heavy.
Everybody is lined up. Everybody is excellent. But yeah, if we suddenly get a lot of these guys calling in, because again, we're running 31 flights in an hour. So we're going to be, we still get 2 minutes of flight, basically. And the thing is, I should be able to run these clear of each other. So I am going to go ahead and move this one right away. Swiss 243 heavy, runway 16, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure. So yeah, short of not being able to
Runway
see
16, cleared for immediate
as
takeoff.
clearly,
On reaching
but
altitude 500,
these are on
contact
this
departure.
side of the runway.
Swiss
There's
243
really
heavy.
no reason to be. We do have one here that we might need to bring in, so we'll have to see how he will taxi over, because he probably will be leaving at some point. Alright. But yeah, the only possibility, because the runways don't really cross.
Zurich ground. Austrian
14,
563 with information alpha.
way out
Requesting
there.
push and start.
Zurich
There's that
ground.
one.
Swiss 17 kilo heavy ready to taxi.
Swiss 17 kilo heavy, taxi to runway 16. Austrian 563, pushback approved, expect runway 16. Alright, so we got him
Taxi
fast
runway
enough,
16.
no
Swiss
delay.
17 kilo heavy.
The taxi
Pushback approved,
has
expect
less
runway
of...
16. Austrian 563.
Alright, so it looks
Zurich
like it
Tower.
goes around
Swiss
in there.
147 heavy on final 14.
Swiss 147 heavy, runway 14, cleared to land. So yeah, the biggest challenge will be, are they gonna
Clear to land.
get in
Swiss
each other's way
147
for
heavy.
taxiing? We do have some alternate routes that we could potentially be using. It's just, again, learning what's what, but hopefully it'll be fine. But, yeah, we'll see how this all goes. But here comes Austrian. I don't know that I see any other flights or any other planes like that. I'm thinking these are Swiss as well. Yes, they've got the little plus sign on them, as we're used to. But yeah, you can see it takes a bit of time, and so we may run someone off at a closer runway at the end. It depends how close to 9 o'clock we start getting flights. So that has to do with design of the scenario as well. But we were done with 25 flights at LaGuardia pretty quickly. So I'm hopeful that they won't do too bad. And again, if it's more of a match,
Austrian 563 ready to taxi.
Austrian 563, taxi to runway 16.
Taxi to runway 16. Austrian 563.
Swiss 17 kilo heavy, runway 16, line up and wait.
Runway 16. Line up and wait. Swiss 17 kilo heavy.
Austrian 563, runway 16, line up and wait.
Runway 16.
Alright.
Line up and wait.
So
Austrian 563.
there it goes before it even gets to runway 10, so that's awesome, especially on a heavy, that it's able to do that. So that is terrific. Alright, so that should hopefully hand off soon. Austrian 563, cross runway 10.
Cross runway 10. Austrian 563.
Alright. Southwest 17 Kilo Heavy, runway 16, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Whoop. Swiss 17 Kilo Heavy, runway 16, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure.
Runway 16, cleared for immediate takeoff on reaching altitude 500. Contact departure.
Swiss 155 Heavy, taxi to terminal. Alright, so he's parking very quickly. That's awesome. And that would be awesome if they would all just park on the other side there. I just don't know that we're going to quite get that lucky.
Zurich ground. Etihad 39 Bravo Heavy with information Alpha, requesting push and start.
Etihad 398 Heavy, pushback approved, expect runway 4 right.
Command from start. Etihad 39 Bravo Heavy.
Etihad 39er Bravo Heavy, pushback approved, expect runway 4. Etihad 39er Bravo Heavy, pushback approved, expect runway 16. I don't know what I'm doing.
Pushback approved, expect runway 34. Etihad
Yeah,
39
that's not
Bravo
what I want,
Heavy.
but anyway.
Zurich Tower. Swiss 177 Heavy on final 14.
Swiss 177 Heavy, runway 14, cleared to land. Oh, it was Swiss
Runway
17
clear to land. Swiss
that took
177
off. I'm
Heavy.
like, didn't I just have one with that? But anyway, yeah. Alright, I think we're doing okay. So again, he's off. I would expect very similar to the way the other one was off. But yeah, at this point, because it's not like the LaGuardia one, that we have a runway closed, like, yeah, we're in pretty good shape here, so. But we've got about 30 seconds before another one calls in. Austrian 563, runway 16, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure. And yeah, I had just done the LaGuardia one, so I have runway 4 in my head.
On reaching altitude 500, contact departure. Austrian 563.
Swiss 147 Heavy, taxi to terminal.
Taxi to terminal. Swiss 147 Heavy. Zurich ground. Etihad 39 Bravo Heavy ready to taxi.
Swiss 4 Lima Victor, pushback approved, expect runway 16. Etihad 39er Bravo Heavy, taxi to runway 16.
Pushback approved, expect runway 16. Swiss 4 Lima Victor.
Taxi to runway 16. Etihad 39 Bravo Heavy.
Zurich Tower. Swiss 283 Heavy on final 14.
Swiss 283 Heavy, runway 14, cleared to land. Etihad 39er Bravo Heavy, runway 16, line up and wait.
Runway 14, cleared to land. Swiss 283 Heavy.
Runway 16. Line up and wait. Etihad 39 Bravo Heavy.
Alright, so the biggest challenge here is going to be how are other things going to call in as I'm coming in here.
Swiss 4 Lima Victor with information Alpha, requesting push and start.
Which one? Oh, okay. The one I've already got moving. So he just called in. So never mind. So again, we're getting a bit of a stack. So we've got a Thai airliner coming in. But okay, Austrian is starting its roll. You can see that on my tower assistant. The Etihad is heading out. And again, more importantly, they've got the lineup and wait in case I have a problem. Long as the United doesn't call in before, we'll be good. I don't see it on the board. Oh, we have something called Swiss Ambulance. Interesting. So,
Zurich ground, Air Portugal 935 with information Alpha, requesting push and start.
Air Portugal 935, pushback approved, expect runway 16. Swiss 4 Lima Victor, taxi to runway 16. So again, it should take a couple minutes for him to push.
Taxi to runway 16. Swiss 4 Lima Victor.
Alright.
Zurich ground, Swiss 4 Lima Victor ready to taxi. Zurich Tower, Thai Niner 70 heavy on final 14.
Thai Niner 70 heavy, runway 14, cleared to land.
Runway 14, cleared to
Alright,
land.
so we're past the United. I think he's going into this gate here. So he'll be parking soon. Alright, Austrian is off. He's pushing back in an interesting way. I assume they'll turn him out a little bit. Now, I think he's going to go straight. It doesn't look like he can go straight, but there's no reason he shouldn't. So, we'll see how that all goes. We'll just kind of observe. Swiss 4 Lima Victor, runway 16, line up and wait. Swiss 4 Lima Victor, cross runway 10. Alright, now we need to pay attention to him landing, but he's done.
Cross runway 10, Swiss 4 Lima Victor.
So at this point we have 5 flights done.
Zurich ground, Air Portugal 935 ready to taxi.
Air Portugal 935, taxi to runway 31. Swiss 177 heavy, taxi to terminal. Alright, so they're literally going right where the plane...
Air Portugal 935.
Air Portugal 935, taxi to runway 16.
Taxi to terminal. Swiss 177 heavy.
Taxi to runway 16. Air Portugal 935.
Air Portugal 935, runway 16, line up and wait. Air Portugal 935, cross runway 10.
Runway 16, line up and wait. Air Portugal 935. Cross runway 10, Air Portugal 935. Ah, dang, the buttons are jammed.
Interesting. I've not heard, oh, the buttons are jammed. Etihad 3 Niner Bravo Heavy, runway 16, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure. Alright, he's cleared.
Runway 16.
283 is coming in.
On reaching altitude 500.
So right now, everybody's
Etihad 39 Bravo Heavy.
so far not super crazy. About 30 seconds, we're going to have that Swiss ambulance call in. I'm assuming that's down there, but I don't know. We'll find out, but let's worry about what we need to worry about. Oh, he's going further. Why? Swiss 283 Heavy, taxi to terminal. Alright, so he's going to a nice close
Taxi to
gate.
terminal. Swiss 283 heavy.
My 2 are line up and waits, which is what I want.
Zurich ground. Swiss ambulance 71 with information Alpha, requesting push and start.
Oh, no, that's that one. Okay. Swiss ambulance 71, pushback approved, expect runway 16. Alright, so he's going to have to go there.
Expect runway 16. Swiss ambulance 71.
Alright. So, other than, again, crazy visibility, it almost seems to be getting foggier. I don't know if that's even possible. Alright. So, that one is off. Alright, so he's rotating. I'm like, I hear somebody's engine changing. We don't have another call in till 8:20. So yeah, I'm not sure which one this is. The reason I thought it might have been that is it's showing gate whiskey 23. And I'm like, that's not, anywhere nearby. But yeah, I'm just glad this one will be out of the way, potentially. And, things will work. Things will work well there. All right. So let's get this going. Swiss 4, Lima Victor, runway 16, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure. Man, that tie had a really big nose up, it looked like, honestly.
Contact departure. Swiss 4, Lima Victor.
Zurich Tower, Edelweiss 202 Hotel and final 14.
Edelweiss 202 Hotel, runway 14, cleared to land. Yeah, it looks
Runway
awful,
14,
I'll tell you that.
Edelweiss 202 Hotel.
Alright, so we're just going to have to be careful with the crossing, but again,
Zurich
it
ground.
can wait.
Swiss ambulance 71 ready to taxi.
Swiss ambulance 71, taxi to runway 16. Swiss ambulance 71, runway 16, line up and wait.
Taxi to runway 16. Swiss ambulance 71. Runway 16. Line up and wait.
Thai 970
Swiss
heavy,
ambulance
taxi to terminal.
Taxi to terminal.
I think we got it without delay, but we'll see. That was really close. So that almost got me all messed up. Alright, so we're good here. Swiss ambulance 71. Cross runway 16.
Cross runway 16. Swiss ambulance 71.
And you can only give it one runway crossing at a time. So we will have
Zurich
to wait.
ground, Edelweiss 134 Charlie with information Alpha, requesting push and start.
Edelweiss 134 Charlie, pushback approved, expect runway 16.
Pushback approved, expect runway 16.
Right.
Edelweiss 134 Charlie.
So the ambulance is moving. He's lining up and waiting, which is fine. God, you can't even see him in the fog. This is crazy. So, yeah, I didn't set a camera down there. I don't really need to, I guess, but I'm going to let him cross. I'm just going to try to avoid any kind of issues. Next landing is Edelweiss. So we got a little reprieve from flight's landing. But yeah, what I was saying is if they ended up even with like departures and all that. Swiss ambulance 71, cross runway 10.
Cross runway 10. Swiss ambulance 71.
Air Portugal 935, runway 16, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure.
Runway 16, cleared for immediate takeoff on reaching altitude 500, contact departure. Air Portugal 9 of 35.
Yeah, I didn't quite see where this was going, but no, there we go. I'm like, he's got to be parking soon. I mean, he could be going to those gates, but he's not. So this United will be leaving at some point, but I think all the rest of these,
Zurich ground.
actually this
Speedbird
one,
7090 with information Alpha, requesting push and start.
Speedbird 709er, pushback approved, expect runway 16.
Pushback approved, expect runway 16. Speedbird 709.
Zurich ground, Edelweiss 134 Charlie ready to taxi.
Edelweiss 134 Charlie, taxi to runway 36, cross runway 10. Whoop. Edelweiss 134 Charlie, taxi to runway 16, cross runway 10.
Negative, unknown command, Edelweiss 134 Charlie.
So the problem ends
Taxi
up
to
being,
runway 16.
again,
Cross
we're
runway
okay,
10.
it didn't cause us a
Edelweiss
problem.
134 Charlie.
Edelweiss 134 Charlie, line up, whoop. Edelweiss 134 Charlie, runway 16, line up and wait.
command requirement missing. Edelweiss 134 Charlie.
So,
Runway 16. Line up and wait.
so the problem that
Edelweiss
ends up
134
happening
Charlie.
sometimes is if you get things botched up. I mean, again, I said the right thing, but you can see on top when it's doing the voice recognition, it's not always hearing the right thing. So, again, hopefully we'll be good. This is really slow, but I'm hoping we'll be able to go and cross and so forth. Alright, so now we've got that Edelweiss landing. But yeah, we had 18 departures and 7 landings with the 25 at LaGuardia. Like, I'm hoping we don't continue to have those kind of problems. Alright,
Zurich ground. Speedbird 709 are ready to taxi.
Speedbird 709er, standby. So this should be okay.
Standby. Speedbird 709
Edelweiss 202 Heavy, taxi to terminal. Cross runway 10.
Taxi to terminal. Cross runway 10. Edelweiss 202 Hotel.
I think I said heavy, but it took it. Alright, so once he crosses the runway, so let's see. Swiss Ambulance 71, runway 16, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure.
Runway 16, cleared for immediate takeoff on reaching altitude 500. Contact departure. Swiss Ambulance 71.
Speedbird 709er, taxi to runway 16. Speedbird 709er, line up and wait.
Taxi to runway 16. Speedbird 709. Command requirement missing. Speedbird 709.
Speedbird 709er, runway 16, line up and wait.
Runway
And so
16. Line up and
we
wait.
are not showing
Speedbird
any delay.
709.
Swiss 193 Tango, pushback approved, expect runway 16. So this took a bit, but no delay. So
Swiss 193 Tango.
I saw it show up on my tower companion, actually, that they had called, you know, we're getting ready to call.
Swiss 193 Tango with information alpha, requesting push and start.
But yeah, I'm not sure if it doesn't call into me, if it still gives me some time. But right now, this is working. Like, there's enough space in this airport that the planes, like, I haven't had a conflict. I mean, other than that potential Speedbird one, but I probably could have run him down because I see this as slow, but I just didn't want to chance things. We're at 12 completed, 19 flights to go, but obviously we have 4 right here, so that'll get us to 16. So we'll be past halfway once we process these flights, and we're not quite at 8:30, so this might work out. Edelweiss 134 Charlie, runway 16, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure. So yeah, no reason to rush with the readings.
On reaching altitude 500, contact departure. Edelweiss 134 Charlie.
But yeah, it's great. Great that things are going in. But yeah, this is where we could run into some trouble depending on how things get cleared and run through here. So, alright, Edelweiss is done. The other one here will be departing, but he's not even on the runway yet.
Zurich ground. Swiss 193 Tango ready to taxi.
Swiss 193 Tango, taxi to runway 16, cross runway 10. Swiss 193 Tango, runway 16, line up and wait. Alright, so I got
Taxi
2
to
line
runway
up and
16,
waits.
Cross runway 10. Swiss 193 Tango. Runway 16, line up and wait.
Alright, well, you can see
Swiss
we got
193
another one
Tango.
there.
Zurich ground. Turkish 8 Mike Quebec with information Alpha. Requesting push and start.
Turkish 8 Mike Quebec. Pushback approved. Expect runway 16.
Pushback approved. Expect runway 16. Turkish 8 Mike Quebec.
Alright, so he's kind of already on the quick taxi route. So he should be more than on the way down the road before anything happens. But yeah, I'm hoping we get some more arrivals, because the scenarios go much faster if we can split those. Yeah, but I'm not sure that either, any of these 3 official base ones are super challenging. We'll see. It'd be lovely if we can just take first position in a bunch of things. That would be incredible. But not sure that we'll get so lucky. But yeah, he's already crossing. He hasn't even gotten to the point where they're pushing him out, so we're good there. Speedbird 709er, runway 16, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure. So again, we do have departures lining
Runway
up.
16, cleared for immediate takeoff. On reaching altitude 500, contact departure. Speedbird 709er.
And the thing is, like, the takeoffs, we get credited as soon as they leave the runway. So they get classified as handled right then. To my knowledge, I have 0 seconds of delay right now. So, I don't want to jinx anything, as they say, but I am running very smoothly in the fog.
Turkish 8 Mike Quebec ready to taxi.
Turkish 8 Mike Quebec, taxi to runway 16. Turkish 8 Mike Quebec, runway 16, line up and wait.
Taxi to runway 16. Turkish 8 Mike Quebec. Runway
Alright,
16,
so
line up and
Speedbird
wait.
is
Turkish
officially
8 Mike Quebec.
moved to taking off to the runway card of TS3 Assistant. So he is off of my ground departure, or PL departure, which I think is planned departures. I'm not sure. But yeah, we're going to have a Swiss call in and then another Swiss. So yeah, I'm thinking we're going to start getting a bunch of these out. But as long as they don't come in too quickly. Oh, there we go.
Information Alpha. Requesting push and start.
Swiss 8 Yankee Hotel, pushback approved, expect runway 16. I mean, so it does make it easier without arrivals, that I'm not suddenly oh, someone's going to come into the gates here, and I'm playing that tap dance, but it takes away some of the challenge. But running an airport is running an airport, right? You're controlling to get things out, not necessarily have excitement and challenges. Swiss 193 Tango, runway 16, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure.
Runway 16, cleared for immediate takeoff.
I mean, so the good news is every 2 or 3 minutes we are getting a plane calling in, but, and this one's at gate Bravo 37. We have the next one calling in from gate Bravo 31. So it's not right nearby. And then the one after that has appeared is calling from gate A42. So, I'm not sure if this is Bravo and this is Alpha. And again, we do have a plane down there, so I don't know how that will run. That Turkish came down pretty fast. Wow. He is set for lineup and wait, so we're good. Alright. I'm like, is it going? It just took a really long time to get there, but it does say departing, and I think he's rolling. I mean, I see he's moving, but he's showing up as lineup and wait still, which is a little odd. Swiss 8 Yankee Hotel, taxi to runway 16, cross runway 10. Yeah, he's showing up as lineup and wait in TS3 admin, so hopefully I get credit for him. I think we did. He got handled. So, it's just a little odd, but let me watch that he gets handed off at 500 feet. Not that I have to stare at him, but you will see that green number go off as well. So, yep, there we go. So, he is no longer with me. Let me make sure he's rolling. Okay. Turkish 8 Mike Quebec, runway 16, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure.
Runway 16, cleared for immediate takeoff
so
on reaching
very
altitude
close.
500. Contact departure. Turkish 8 Mike Quebec.
But yeah, we just got Swiss, so all the Swisses are leaving now.
Zurich ground. Swiss 268 Alpha with information Alpha. Requesting push and start.
Swiss 268 Alpha, pushback approved. Expect runway 16.
Pushback approved. Expect runway 16. Swiss 268 Alpha.
Swiss 8 Yankee Hotel, runway 16, line up and wait.
Runway 16, line up and wait. Swiss 8 Yankee Hotel.
Alright, so there goes the Turkish. And at this point, 17 are handled. We have 14 remaining. I don't think we have that many on the ground, so I'm assuming we're going to get some arrivals, but so far, nothing. No strips have showed up for me to deal with. So, very interesting. So, I'm kind of hesitating to speed things up. Because again, I know people can speed things up on their own if they don't want to just hang out and watch, but you know, the flip side of this is obviously, you know, when you are controlling, like, yeah, you can't speed time up in real life. It doesn't work that way, so. But. Alright, yeah, but like I said, every 2 to 3 minutes is when things are going, so we'll see. Alright, so there you go.
Yankee with information Alpha, requesting push and start.
Swiss 433 Yankee, stand by.
Stand by. Swiss 433 Yankee.
Zurich ground. Swiss 268 Alpha ready to taxi.
Swiss 268 Alpha, taxi to runway 16, cross runway 10.
Taxi to runway 16.
Swiss 433 Yankee, pushback approved,
Alpha.
expect runway 16.
Pushback approved, expect runway 16.
Now, I'd
Swiss
like to get
433
out of
Yankee.
here before the next one, because otherwise, yeah, we're gonna be delayed, and that'll be bad. Swiss 268 Alpha, runway 16, line up and wait.
Runway 16. Line up and wait. Swiss 268 Alpha.
Swiss 8 Yankee Hotel, runway 16, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure. We do finally have a plane that has showed up on approach.
On reaching altitude 500, contact departure.
So we are
Swiss
getting
Yankee Hotel.
someone coming. So that is good, I suppose. And he was 8:37, and that's the time we are at. We're at 8:37:40 as I read that. Alright, so we're turning there. And yeah, 8:39 is when the next one's going to call, so we've still got about a minute. So my hope is, I mean, it's taken a little while for this thing to push back and do whatever, so, you know, now in theory they're getting out of the pushback truck, they're running over there, getting the, you know, pin out and whatever, they're checking to make sure engines are started, if we're taking our flight simulator work. So yeah. I'm sure it's beautiful here. But you'd never know with the fog. Okay, as soon as he leaves, I will be calling him. Swiss 433 Yankee, taxi to runway 16, cross runway 10. Alright, so we have 15 seconds, which should be enough for them to get clear of everything here. So, because yes, now once he kind of straightens out his wheel and starts rolling, it's usually a little less of a dance. But,
Zurich Brown,
alright.
Swiss 542 Delta with information alpha, requesting push and start.
Swiss 542 Delta, pushback approved, expect runway 16.
Pushback approved, expect runway 16.
You can hear the takeoff behind me. Swiss 433 Yankee, runway 16, line up and wait. Alright, everybody's line up and wait. That's the secret. That is a big secret that I learned.
Eurowings 2 Delta Juliet on final 14.
Eurowings 2 Delta Juliet, runway 14, cleared to land.
Runway 14, cleared to land. Eurowings 2 Delta Juliet.
Yeah, because the way I understood it is you didn't issue a lineup, or a lineup and wait couldn't effectively be issued until basically they were the next one to come onto the runway. And so I just basically have them sitting in line at any given time on the taxiway, and then basically it was just being called a delay. But I found out a couple episodes ago, I tried that and was like, oh, I can have them all line up and wait. And so if I have 10 or 20 in a row at some point, none of them are in trouble because they're all like, yep, I've been given clearance to get going, I'm just waiting my turn. But we'll see. We have another one approaching, so now things are picking up a bit here at the end. We have 13 flights left. We've got 4 on, in the airport vicinity that I'm dealing with, but, 5 with the one that's approaching.
Zurich Brown, Swiss 542 Delta ready for taxi.
Swiss 542 Delta, taxi to runway 16, cross runway 10. Swiss 542 Delta, runway 16, line up and wait. So now I've got 3 in that status.
Cross runway 10. Swiss 542 Delta. Runway 16, line up and wait. Swiss 542 Delta.
Swiss 268 Alpha, runway 16, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure. Yeah, in my head, sometimes I get
Runway
cleared for
16,
immediate
cleared for
departure
immediate
is what I
takeoff
want to
on
say.
reaching altitude 500, contact departure. Swiss 268 Alpha.
Yeah, it's interesting that there are we've had a lot of heavies landing, but we haven't had a heavy leaving. I think we did have a few in the beginning, so that may be inaccurate. Alright, I think everything is working as we'd expect. Nobody's behind schedule. Alright, they're finally getting out. We have a United, we have a Swiss, a United, and a Swiss on the
Zurich
board.
Tower, Swiss 46 Echo on final 14.
And that's for departures. Swiss 46 Echo, runway 14, cleared to land. So yeah, we'll see, because now we're getting a lot of
Swiss 46 Echo.
arrivals here. Swiss 433 Yankee, runway 16, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure.
Runway 16, cleared for immediate takeoff on reaching altitude 500, contact departure. Swiss 433 Yankee.
So, yeah, this has been keeping me up later than normal, so that has not been helpful for my sleep schedule, but I've really been enjoying my time in Tower Companion. I do need to say, I do find this just a really good add-on. So, you know, between TS3 Assistant and that, like, there's some pretty good quality add-ons to help your enjoyment with Tower Simulator 3 if this is a sim you haven't taken a look at, you haven't picked up yet. If you have any interest in air traffic control, this is definitely a fun way to scratch that itch. Alright. So we'll get a call in. Oh, there we go. I knew that one was coming at some point. Swiss 37 Papa, pushback approved, expect runway 16. So depending on when the next Swiss calls in, like again,
Swiss 37 Papa.
could be having some problems, but we'll see. Alright. So it does go through there. Again, it takes a couple minutes for it to push and go. Alright, so we've got the Euro.
Swiss 1 Zulu Victor on final 14.
Where is the... Oh, he's taking off. I'm like... I panicked because I saw 2 on the runway. Swiss 1 Zulu Victor, runway 14, cleared to land. Alright, I panicked, like, oh no, I've got one waiting. And I missed it, but that wasn't the case, thank goodness. Alright, so let's see where he is going once we get a clear.
United 52 Heavy with information alpha, requesting push and start.
Eurowings 2 Delta Juliet, taxi to terminal, cross runway 10. Oh, we are, oh okay, he's just parking right there.
Cross runway 10. Eurowings 2 Delta Juliet.
United 52 Heavy, pushback approved, expect runway 16.
Pushback approved, expect runway 16.
Alright.
United 52 Heavy.
No delays. As long as he starts moving, he did, alright. Alright, so we can get this one going. Swiss 542 Delta, runway 16, cleared for immediate takeoff. Swiss 542 Delta, runway 16, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure.
Negative. Need correct runway.
Yeah,
Swiss
yeah.
542 Delta.
I got it. You've got the
Runway
correct
16.
runway. I don't know why it picked up whatever it picked up, but it did.
Contact departure.
Swiss 37 Papa, taxi to runway 16, cross runway 10. Alright, so I need him to move.
Taxi runway 16. Cross runway 10.
Because, yeah, in
Swiss 37
30
Papa.
seconds,
Zurich ground. Swiss
we're going to
37
have
Papa
another
air
one
taxi.
call in. So not good. So, yeah, we've got one calling in. We're going to have the United calling for clear. Like, it's getting busy. It's definitely an opportunity to lose some points here. So we'll want to be careful. And again, it'll take a couple minutes once the Swiss calls for
Zurich
pushback.
ground, Swiss 183 Bravo with information alpha, requesting push and start.
Zurich ground. United 52 Heavy ready to taxi.
Swiss 183 Bravo, pushback approved, expect runway 16. United 52 Heavy, taxi to runway 16. United 52 Heavy, runway 16, line up and wait.
Pushback approved, expect runway 16. Swiss 183 Bravo.
Taxi to runway 16. United 52 Heavy.
Swiss 37 Papa, runway 16, line up and wait.
Runway 16. Line up and wait. United 52 Heavy.
Alright, so he's
Runway
not in
16.
yet.
Line up and wait. Swiss 37 Papa.
Again, it's just a matter of where do these all go. Now, that's our last one. Nobody else is lined up for arrival. We are down to 10 planes. Swiss 46 Echo, taxi to terminal, cross runway 10. Alright, so now we're potentially
Cross runway 10.
getting into a bit of a problem, but I think we're okay. Nobody's in conflict. Alright, he's pushing back at 8:51, which is about 3.5 minutes from now. Or 2.5 minutes, I'm sorry. Okay, is he moving? I just hate when they hesitate like that. So yeah, this will require a lineup and wait, because they are very close to each other. But yeah, he'll be clear as long as my 851 isn't there. But I think he is.
Swiss 183 Bravo ready to taxi.
Swiss 183 Bravo, taxi to runway 16, cross runway 10. Swiss 183 Bravo, runway 16, line up and wait.
Taxi to runway 16, cross runway 10. Swiss 183 Bravo. Runway 16, line up and wait. Swiss 183 Bravo.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, again, it does go up kind of slowly. So, you know, there is that. I mean, at this point he's clear. We've gotten that one out of there. That one's gone there. We're down to 9. Again, we've got a bunch on the ground, as you can see, so we are getting close. You know, the biggest challenge is, can we get these guys off? So I might need to start sending the other ones over here to take off. That may be what I need to do. Swiss 1 Zulu Victor, taxi to terminal, cross runway 10.
Taxi to terminal, cross runway 10. Swiss 1 Zulu Victor.
Now we're running into some challenges. All right. United 52 Heavy, runway 16, cleared for immediate takeoff. Upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure. Because, yeah, I don't think I can run them, keep running them down there. I think everybody else is going to need to go here to 10.
Zurich ground. Swiss 3 Alpha, Quebec with information Alpha, requesting push and start.
Swiss 3 Alpha, Quebec, standby. I don't know that I really want to wait, but I don't want to cause a problem, so we'll let him get in here. Because, yeah, these guys will be fine. And then we've got Alpine that's calling in at 8:53, so I think that's him. So he may just get off first, which is okay. I've got another one approaching, amazingly, so I don't know. Like, that'll be a problem. I may not be able to get that one to the gate. So yeah, there may be a few issues here. But, yeah.
Zurich Tower, Swiss 756 Charlie on final 14.
Swiss 756 Charlie, runway 14, cleared to land. Okay, and so we have an 8:50 arrival that just showed up as well.
Charlie.
So, I don't know if I could have maybe done something different. I'm not sure. So let's see. Swiss 1 Zulu Victor. Alright, so he's going in there too. We'll wait at this point. Because, yeah, something's going to delay us anyway. Swiss 37 Papa, runway 16, cleared for immediate takeoff. Upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure. Oh, okay. I don't know why. Oh, because he's a heavy. Alright.
Swiss 37 Papa.
Now, I don't think that causes me a problem, but it may.
Zurich ground. Alpine 91 Bravo Romeo with information Alpha. Requesting push and start.
Alpine 91 Bravo Romeo, pushback approved. Expect runway 10.
Pushback approved. Expect runway 10. Alpine 91 Bravo Romeo.
Alright. So he is off. I'm wondering why it wouldn't taxi me the other way, but I don't know that it much matters the little bit there. Swiss 183 Bravo, runway 16, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure.
Runway 16, cleared for immediate takeoff on reaching altitude 500. Contact departure. Swiss 183 Bravo.
So we've still got about 5 minutes, but the concern is, again, I don't know how long it's going to take this. So I may not be able to get that one off. Swiss 67 Golf Heavy, runway 14, cleared to land. So I'll be surprised if that one makes it in.
Swiss 67 Golf Heavy.
So we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But right now, yeah, we've got 25 handled. We're going to have 26 in a moment. Okay. Swiss 3 Alpha Quebec, pushback approved. Expect runway 10. So again, we're going to have about 3 minutes to get to the runway and go. So we're going to see what happens with Alpine here. Once he's clear.
Zurich ground. Alpine 91
Okay.
Bravo Romeo.
So we did lose 1 minute and 9 seconds. So there is a point, even though you do standby, you can't wait forever. Alpine 91 Bravo Romeo, taxi to runway 10, cross runway 10. Oh, I see why, because you can't
Taxi to
really
runway
get...
10, cross runway 10. Alpine
Well,
91 Bravo
you could
Romeo.
go over there, I guess, but yeah, either way, it should work, like once it goes. It's just, yeah, really a matter of, I mean, the runways don't cross. Alright, this one's coming in, but it's just, are they going to be able to get to the terminal? So this is what you run into sometimes, is just a bit of a challenge. So we have 27 handled. We have 4 left, and we can see them all. So, yeah, like I said, this one's going to be interesting. Like, it's 8:56.5 right now. Alpine 91 Bravo Romeo, runway 10, line up and wait.
Runway 10, line up and wait. Alpine 91 Bravo.
I don't even think this one's gonna land
Zurich
in
ground.
time,
Swiss 3 Alpha,
honestly.
Quebec ready to taxi.
Swiss 3 Alpha Quebec, taxi to runway 10, cross runway 16. Swiss 3 Alpha Quebec, runway 10, line up and wait. So again, I have almost 3 minutes
Taxi
to
runway
get
10,
there,
cross runway 16.
which is what I
Swiss 3
figured.
Alpha, Quebec.
Alpine 91 Bravo Romeo, cross runway 16.
Runway 10, line up and wait. Swiss 3 Alpha, Quebec.
Cross runway 16. Alpine 91 Bravo Romeo.
I'm not sure why he got that. Alpine 91 Bravo Romeo, runway 10, line up and wait.
Runway 10, line up and wait. Alpine 91 Bravo Romeo.
Okay, he's not crossed yet, but so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be close. Swiss 756 Charlie, taxi to terminal, cross runway 10. Yeah, I don't think he can make it.
Cross runway 10.
I don't think there's any
Swiss
way for them to
756
make
Charlie.
it. Alpine 91 Bravo Romeo, runway 10, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure.
Runway 10, cleared for immediate takeoff. On reaching altitude 500, contact departure. Alpine 91 Bravo Romeo.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting here, I'll tell you that. So, can I get both of these off? I don't know that I can. I have a minute. And you can see it's really going slowly. So, unless he starts moving, I think I'm going to have a problem. So yeah, I'm thinking it's highly unlikely. I mean, he is set for lineup and wait, so he will be doing that while this one starts the roll, but yeah, I don't think... So I think we're going to have... we might get one more here that we're going to get credit for. So he's rolling, but we're down to less than 30 seconds. I think he'll get off, but that'll be it. I don't think anything else is going to happen. We might have a problem here because they're going to go... I mean, he'll be across, but... Yep, and that is it. So he did not take off. So... Now let's see, it says 2800. We should be better than that. So yeah, it gave us a perfect score. Because again, in the game, it counts that landing as counted. But yeah. So 27 successful flights. We lost 0 points. So I did as well as I could. So yeah, and I'm 21 out of 123. So someone got them all off. But some of that, I'm sure it has to do with where you're at. And so again, you know, I'll probably give it a try in the future. Because what I can do is, you know, I can open up multiple runways to arrival. So that may be what needs to happen as well. You know, because that's the thing. If I have like runway 10 and 14 open, because basically what happened was at the end, that was the problem, and that was the thing. Like, and if I was at runway 10, like obviously the taxi would be shorter, but then you're dealing with crossings. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to look at that and think through it, but I could probably get closer than that. But yeah, I mean, I did everything I could, but not knowing the schedule, like I said, I was very close to 2800, which would have gotten me toward the top 10. But anything more than that is a bit of a challenge, but... You can see where we're at. Hopefully you've enjoyed us trying this challenge, but that's the fun here of this. Like, there's another opportunity to do better, because obviously somebody did 30-50, so it can certainly be done. It's just figuring out how. And some of it, again, could simply be how things line up. I simply took 1-6 because... that was how things were playing out with the weather, but you know, because that's the other thing you've got to keep in mind is 10 is only 8,200 feet long, so I don't think a heavy can take off probably or land there. But the landing, I think they wouldn't send it to a problem, but the heavies also get lined up at that top terminal. So that's what I would do differently at this point, is I would probably get some of the departures a little closer, but obviously those last two, like I changed, like that didn't really end up being my issue as much. They just couldn't get to the runway in time. And obviously those get released when they get released. So I'm not entirely sure how they did some of that, because again, if I could have gotten the other two landed, that would have gotten me to 2,900, which would have put me in the top 3. But yeah, it's getting those other 2 off. And yes, I did wait on the one Swiss Air, so I suppose that would be the other piece, is just getting that out of there. But there aren't 2 taxi points in there into those gates, so that becomes a bit of the problem, and it's just how little can you hold. So yeah. So some of it might be too, like if it would have put them at the outside gates, I wouldn't have had to wait. I would have been able to move a little quicker, and they would have gotten there faster as well. So yes, I probably could have easily gotten one more plane off, because I probably let that other plane sit for 2 minutes, because if I look at that one, yeah, that one called in at 8:50. I absolutely could have gotten that off before 9, but I just kept waiting and waiting, so that didn't help. Or no, I'm sorry, that's not that one. It was 8:49, so yeah. But yeah, the other one had gone. No, the Alpine was 8:53. I don't know. Either way, I could have done it, so I'm sorry for rambling on here at the end. But as always, if you've enjoyed this, haven't dropped a like or are not a subscriber, please consider those things, and I will see you next time.